Hello, listeners of the latest episode. Welcome to the new chapter of our story.
36 hours into the 48-hour countdown, Jennifer Park requested an emergency meeting with John, Chen, and Michael. "I know where Webb's holding the hostages," Jennifer said without preamble. "I remember the facilities from being Hunter 9. Every location I visited through the neural network. Every detention wing, every holding cell." She pulled up a map, marked 3 locations: Peterson Air Force Base, Fort Carson Auxiliary Detention Facility, and a temporary field site near Colorado Springs. Those are the 3 places Webb uses for high-value prisoners. That's where he's holding the 47 hostages. Marcus Webb Jr. entered, still recovering from his reversal but insisting on helping. Hunter 6 was deployed to Peterson twice during my transformation. I remember the layout. The detention wing is underground, reinforced structure, designed to hold modified infected if necessary. That's where he'd put the largest group. "How many at each site?" John asked. Jennifer closed her eyes, accessing memories from when she'd been a weapon. "Peterson has capacity for 30. Fort Carson Auxiliary, maybe 15. The field site is temporary, maybe 10 maximum. If Webb's distributing 47 hostages strategically, he'd put the most at Peterson, where security is highest." "Approximately 27 at Peterson," Marcus said. 12 at Fort Carson, 8 at the field site. That's how Webb would split them. Maximum security for maximum hostages, smaller groups at more vulnerable sites. Chen studied the locations. 3 sites, 46 remaining fighters. We can't hit all 3 simultaneously. We don't have the forces. Any rescue attempt at one location means Webb executes hostages at the other 2. "Unless we can prevent those executions," Jennifer said. "When I was Hunter 9, I felt the connection, the neural network. All hunters are coordinated through a central command node. If you disrupt that node, hunters lose real-time coordination. They don't go offline. They're still dangerous, but they become independent operators instead of a networked force. Webb's using hunters to guard the hostages," Marcus added. "I saw the deployment orders through Hunter 6's connection. 4 hunters split between the 3 locations. They're the rapid response if anyone attempts rescue. Regular soldiers can be overwhelmed. Hunters can't." "Where's the command node?" Michael asked. Jennifer pointed to Peterson, the communications hub we tried to destroy during the triple strike operation. We thought it was at the surface facility. It wasn't. That was a decoy. The real Hunter command node is underground at Peterson, in the same complex as the detention wing. Webb keeps it hidden because it coordinates his entire Hunter network, not just the ones at hostage sites. Every Hunter he's deployed across 6 states. The implications were massive. Destroying the Peterson command node wouldn't just disrupt hostage site security. It would cripple Webb's ability to coordinate Hunter operations everywhere. "If we hit Peterson," Chen said slowly, "we disrupt Hunter coordination across Webb's entire network. Every facility that relies on Hunter security becomes vulnerable. Every operation that uses coordinated Hunter tactics fails. We destroy his most powerful weapon," John said. "The thing that made hunters more dangerous than regular modified infected. Their ability to work together, share information, adapt collectively." "But we still can't hit all 3 hostage sites," Michael said, bringing them back to the central problem. "Even with disrupted hunters, even with the command node destroyed, we don't have the forces to conduct 3 simultaneous rescue operations." John studied the numbers. 27 hostages at Peterson, 12 at Fort Carson, 8 at the field site, 47 total, and he could only save 1 group. "We hit Peterson," John said. Rescue the 27 hostages there. Destroy the command node. Cripple Webb's hunter network. And the other 20? Someone asked. John's voice was flat, empty. Webb executes them. We can't save everyone. We save who we can. The silence in the command center was absolute. That's a death sentence for 20 people, Chen said quietly. That's a survival chance for 27 people who'd otherwise all die. John corrected. It's not the choice I want. It's the only choice that gets anyone out alive. The community assembly was the hardest John had ever attended. 46 people gathered to hear him explain why he was choosing to save some hostages and abandon others. We've identified the 3 hostage locations, John began. Peterson Air Force Base has 27 hostages. Fort Carson Auxiliary Facility has 12. A field site has 8. We can hit one location, only one. We don't have the forces for simultaneous operations. He displayed the tactical analysis. Peterson has the most hostages. It also has the hunter command node that coordinates Webb's entire network. If we destroy that node, we cripple his most dangerous weapon. Every hunter across 6 states loses coordination. But 12 plus 8 is 20, someone said. 20 people die because we can't save them. Yes, John said. Simple, honest, brutal. So we're choosing who lives based on numbers? Another voice called. The 27 at Peterson matter more than the 20 at other sites. The 27 at Peterson can be saved, John said. The 20 at other sites can't. Not with our resources, not with our forces. I'm not choosing who matters more. I'm choosing the option that results in 27 people going home to their families instead of 0 people surviving. You're playing God, someone accused. I'm playing commander, John shot back, making the decision nobody wants to make because someone has to. If you've got a better plan, a way to save all 47, I'm listening. But if your objection is just that the math is ugly, then you're not helping. Nobody had a better plan, because there wasn't one. We vote, Chen said. Attempt to rescue Peterson's 27 hostages, destroy the command node, and accept that the other 20 will be executed. Everyone in favor? 28 hands went up. 18 remained down. Motion passes, Chen said. We proceed with Peterson assault. The assembly dissolved into smaller groups. People processing what they'd just voted for. People understanding that 20 hostages would die because the resistance didn't have enough fighters to save everyone. Sarah Anderson, the first successful hunter reversal, approached John privately. When I was Hunter 4, before you saved me, I would have been in one of those detention cells. Would you have chosen to rescue my site? Or would I have been one of the 20 you couldn't save? I don't know, John admitted. Depends on the numbers. Depends on the tactical situation. Depends on variables I can't predict. That's honest, Sarah said. Horrible, but honest. For what it's worth, I think you're making the right call. Saving some is better than saving none, even if it means living with the weight of who you couldn't save. I've been living with that weight since Kandahar, John said. Since Denver, General. Since the triple strike. Since Rachel. This is just more weight on a load that never gets lighter. John called for volunteers 6 hours before Webb's deadline. This is a suicide mission, John said bluntly. We're assaulting Peterson Air Force Base, one of Webb's most defended facilities, to rescue hostages and destroy his hunter command node. The facility has approximately 56 personnel, according to Rachel's intelligence. It's fortified. It's prepared. Some of us won't make it back. He paused, making sure everyone understood. I need 20 fighters. If you're not willing to die for this, don't volunteer. There's no shame in staying behind to defend the base. But if you come with me, understand you might not see tomorrow." Every hand went up. All 46 remaining fighters. Everyone willing to die for 27 hostages and a chance to cripple Webb's Hunter network. John looked at them, at people who'd survived the network war, the triple strike disaster, the systematic campaign's failures, people who'd lost friends, family, everything, and they were still willing to fight. "Chen, you're staying," John said. "If this goes wrong, the resistance needs leadership. You're second in command. You keep people alive." "John," Chen started. "That's an order," John said. "Michael's shoulder is injured, but he can still shoot. He's coming. You're staying. End of discussion." Chen nodded reluctantly, understood that someone had to survive to carry on if the assault team died. "Morrison, you're staying," John continued. "We're going to bring back wounded. We need you ready." "Understood," Morrison said. "Sarah, Marcus, Jennifer, you're staying. You've been through enough. You don't owe the resistance another trauma." "With respect, Captain," Jennifer said. "I was Hunter 9. I know Peterson's layout better than anyone here. You need me on this operation." "She's right," Marcus added. "Hunter 6 visited Peterson. I remember security protocols, guard rotations, weak points. You're going in blind without us." John wanted to argue, wanted to keep them safe, but they were right. Their Hunter memories were intelligence the assault team couldn't afford to lose. "Fine," John said, "but you stay in tactical support roles. You don't engage unless absolutely necessary." He selected 18 more fighters, 20 total for the assault. Enough to hit hard, but not so many that failure meant total force elimination. "We launch in 5 hours, John said. "Gives us 1 hour before Webb's deadline. We hit Peterson, rescue the hostages, destroy the command node, and extract. Fast and brutal. No hesitation, no mercy." The assault team prepared, checked weapons, reviewed facility layouts Jennifer and Marcus had reconstructed from Hunter memories, planned approach vectors, breach points, extraction routes, and tried not to think about the 20 hostages at other sites who would die while they were saving 27. The assault launched at 0100 hours, 6 hours before Webb's deadline. John led 20 fighters toward Peterson Air Force Base under cover of darkness, Jennifer and Marcus providing real-time guidance based on their Hunter memories of the facility. "Detention wing entrance is on the north side," Jennifer transmitted. "Underground access. 3 security checkpoints between entry and the cells. Hunter command node is adjacent to the detention wing. You'll have to split teams, 1 for hostages, 1 for the node. Guard rotation changes at 0130. Marcus added, "You'll have a 15-minute window when security is transitional. That's when you breach." The assault team reached the perimeter at 0115. 15 minutes to prepare. 15 minutes before everything went to hell. Michael organized the teams. "Alpha Team, 10 fighters. You're on hostage rescue. Breach the detention wing. Eliminate guards. Extract civilians. Bravo Team, 10 fighters. You're on the command node. Destroy it completely. No half measures. If Webb can rebuild it, we've accomplished nothing." "I'm going with Bravo," John said. "Jennifer with Alpha to guide them to the cells. Marcus with Bravo to guide us to the command node." At 0130 exactly, the assault began. Breaching charges on the north entrance. Alpha and Bravo teams pouring through simultaneously. 3 security checkpoints that had to be overwhelmed before Webb's forces could organize a response. The fighting was immediate and brutal. Webb's soldiers were trained, prepared, defending critical infrastructure. But they weren't expecting an assault 6 hours before their deadline, weren't prepared for attackers willing to die to complete the mission. Alpha Team fought through the first checkpoint. 6 guards killed, 2 resistance fighters wounded. They pushed toward the detention wing. Bravo Team engaged the second checkpoint. Heavier resistance, 8 guards, plus 2 hunters. The hunters were coordinated, working together, using tactics that made them far more dangerous than standard infected. Command nodes still active. Marcus shouted over gunfire. They're still networked. John and Bravo Team concentrated fire on the first hunter, brought it down with focused assault. The second hunter adapted immediately, used cover better, coordinated with the guards. "We need to reach that command node," John transmitted. "It's the only way to disrupt their coordination." Bravo Team fought through. 3 more fighters wounded, but they pushed past the second checkpoint, reached the Hunter command node facility. It was a hardened room with servers, communications equipment, and the organic neural transmitters that allowed hunters to share information in real time. The technology Webb had stolen from the network war, the same system that had made Patient Zero's infected so dangerous. "Plant the charges," John ordered. "Bring the whole room down." While Bravo Team worked, Alpha Team reached the detention wing. Jennifer's memories had been accurate. 27 civilians locked in reinforced cells. Terrified, exhausted, but alive. "Resistance," Jennifer called out. "We're here to rescue you. Stay calm. We're getting you out." The civilians surged toward the cell doors. Alpha Team began cutting through the locks, working fast, knowing Webb's reinforcements were coming. Bravo Team finished planting demolition charges throughout the command node. 30-second fuses, John said. "Everyone out, now." They evacuated the room. The charges detonated. The entire command node complex collapsed, servers destroyed, neural transmitters obliterated, the organic technology that coordinated hunters reduced to biological wreckage. Across Peterson, the effects were immediate. The remaining hunters stopped moving in coordinated patterns, became independent operators, still dangerous but no longer working together. "Node destroyed," John transmitted. "All teams extract. Go." Alpha Team was evacuating hostages when Webb's reinforcements arrived. 30 soldiers pouring into the detention wing from a secondary access point. Alpha Team was trapped between the enemy and the civilians they'd just rescued. "We need support," the Alpha Team leader transmitted. "We're pinned down, can't extract with hostages under fire." John made the calculation instantly. "Bravo Team, we're going back in. Alpha needs cover. We hold the reinforcements while hostages extract." "That's suicide," someone said. "That's the mission," John corrected. "We didn't come here to rescue hostages and leave them to die in the extraction. We hold until they're clear." Bravo Team doubled back, caught Webb's reinforcements from behind, turned a one-sided ambush into a 3-way firefight. Bravo attacking Webb's forces while Alpha extracted hostages while Webb's soldiers tried to kill everyone. The fighting lasted 8 minutes. 8 minutes of absolute chaos. 4 resistance fighters killed, 7 wounded, but all 27 hostages extracted successfully. "Alpha clear," the team leader transmitted. "Hostages are out. Bravo, extract." Bravo Team withdrew under fire, left 4 bodies behind, made it to the extraction point where Alpha Team and hostages were already moving toward vehicles. "Command node destroyed," John confirmed over the radio. 27 hostages recovered, 4 KIA, 7 wounded, extracting now. Chen's voice came back from base. "Confirmed. Good work. Get back here before—" The transmission cut off, replaced by Webb's voice, cold and furious. Captain Martinez, congratulations on your successful rescue of Peterson's hostages and on destroying my Hunter command node. Quite an impressive operation. A pause. Then, however you understand I meant what I said about consequences. You attempted to rescue hostages from one location. That means the hostages at the other 2 locations are forfeit. Another pause, letting the words sink in. I'm executing them now, all 20, 12 at Fort Carson Auxiliary, 8 at the field site. They're dying as I speak, because you chose to save 27 people instead of negotiating for all 47. John felt something cold settle in his chest. He'd known this would happen, had made the choice understanding 20 people would die. But knowing it intellectually was different from hearing Webb confirm their execution in real time. I want you to think about that, Webb continued. 20 people dead because you made a tactical decision, because you chose to assault my facility instead of surrendering yourself. I'll be sending you recordings of their final moments, so you can see exactly what your choice cost. The transmission ended. The extraction convoy drove in silence. 27 rescued hostages in the vehicles, 20 fighters who'd survived the assault, 4 bodies being carried back for burial, and the knowledge that 20 people at other sites had just been executed while they were escaping. One of the rescued hostages, a woman in her 30s, pale and shaking, spoke up. Is it true? Are there more hostages? Did people die because you saved us? John didn't answer immediately. Couldn't find words that wouldn't sound like justification or excuse. Yes, he finally said. 20 hostages at 2 other facilities. We could only rescue 1 location. We chose yours. They chose to execute the others. They chose, the woman repeated. Webb chose, not you. I chose to assault Peterson, John said. I knew the consequences, knew Webb would execute the others. I made that choice anyway. Their blood is on my hands as much as Webb's. The woman was quiet. Then, 27 of us are alive because of that choice. Because you came for us knowing others would die. That's not murder. That's making impossible decisions in an impossible situation. Doesn't make it feel any better, John said quietly. No, the woman agreed. I don't imagine it does. The convoy reached the base at 0400 hours, 2 hours before Webb's original deadline. The community gathered to receive the rescued hostages, to mourn the 4 fighters killed in the assault, to process what had been accomplished and what had been sacrificed. Chen organized medical treatment for the wounded. Morrison worked frantically to stabilize the 7 fighters who'd taken serious injuries. Sarah and Jennifer helped the rescued hostages, many in shock, all traumatized by their captivity. Webb's transmission came at 0600, the deadline he'd originally set for surrender. A video file transmitted on all frequencies. Don't watch it, Michael advised John. You know what's in it. You don't need to see it to carry the guilt. But John watched, anyway. Felt he owed the 20 executed hostages that much, to witness what his decision had cost. The video showed all 20 executions, 12 at Fort Carson Auxiliary Facility, 8 at the field site. Webb's soldiers, carrying them out methodically, professionally. No torture, no theatrics, just execution. But what made it worse was that each hostage was given a chance to speak before they died. Final words transmitted to be included in the recording Webb sent to John. Tell my daughter I love her. Tell her I'm sorry I couldn't come home. This isn't your fault, whoever's watching. This is Webb. This is Project Lazarus. You keep fighting them. Don't let them win. Don't let them make the world they're planning. Please. My name is Thomas Rivera. I was a teacher before the outbreak. I want someone to remember that. I want someone to know I existed. 20 voices, 20 people saying goodbye. 20 deaths that John had chosen to accept when he decided to rescue Peterson instead of surrendering. The video ended with Webb's face. Captain Martinez, these 20 people died because you chose tactics over diplomacy, because you valued destroying my command node over preserving lives. I want you to remember their faces, remember their names, remember that your choice killed them as surely as my bullets. But I'm not unreasonable, Webb continued. You've proven you're willing to sacrifice lives for tactical advantage. So let's discuss new terms. You've crippled my hunter coordination network. That was inconvenient, but not decisive. I still have 21 facilities. I still have 2,797 personnel. Phase 2 still begins in 3.5 months. However, your assault on Peterson has convinced me you're a more dangerous opponent than I estimated. So I'm prepared to offer a conditional ceasefire. You stop attacking my facilities. I stop targeting civilians. We both focus on preparing for Phase 2. When it begins, we'll see which philosophy prevails, my controlled future or your chaotic resistance. You have 72 hours to accept. If you refuse, I will resume targeting civilians. But this time, I won't take hostages. I'll simply eliminate any settlement that provides your resistance with support. Scorched earth, no second chances. The transmission ended. The command center was silent, everyone processing Webb's offer, everyone understanding what was being proposed. He's offering peace, Chen said. Temporary, conditional, but peace. He's offering time, John corrected. Time to consolidate his forces. Time to prepare for Phase 2. Time to make sure when it begins, we can't stop it. But we get the same time, Michael said. Time to recover from our losses. Time to train new fighters. Time to plan better strategies. While Webb transforms more people into hunters to replace the coordination we disrupted, Morrison added, while he reinforces facilities, while he prepares for Phase 2 implementation. What's our alternative? Someone asked. Keep attacking his facilities? He'll target civilians again. We'll be responsible for more deaths. It was the question John had been avoiding, the question he had to answer. They'd destroyed Webb's hunter command node, rescued 27 hostages, crippled his most dangerous weapon, but 20 people had died. 4 more resistance fighters killed, and Webb was offering a ceasefire that might be a trap, but also might be the only way to avoid more civilian casualties. We vote, John said. Accept Webb's ceasefire and focus on preparing for Phase 2, or refuse and continue attacking his facilities, knowing he'll target civilians. The vote was 32 in favor of the ceasefire, 14 opposed. Motion passes, Chen announced. We accept Webb's terms. Temporary ceasefire, no attacks on his facilities, no targeting of civilians. Both sides prepare for Phase 2. John transmitted the acceptance to Webb, hated every word, felt like surrender even though it wasn't, felt like abandoning the fight even though they were just pausing it. Webb's response was immediate. Wise choice, Captain. You've bought yourself 3.5 months. Use them well, because when Phase 2 begins, there will be no more negotiations, no more ceasefires, just survival or transformation. Everyone makes that choice, including you. The transmission ended, the war paused, and John was left with the weight of 20 deaths that his choice had caused. 27 lives saved versus 20 lives lost. The brutal math of command. Marcus and Jennifer found him alone after the ceasefire was announced, both of them still processing their transformations, both of them understanding guilt. The 20 who died, Marcus said. That's not on you alone. That's on Webb for taking them hostage, on the outbreak for destroying civilization, on all of us for fighting a war where civilians become targets. We were hunters, Jennifer added. Webb's weapons. We killed people while his programming controlled us. The guilt of that is crushing. But Morrison keeps telling us, you carry the weight, but you don't let it stop you from doing what's necessary. The 20 died. The 27 lived. That's the math you had to accept. Doesn't make it easy, just makes it real. John thought about Rachel, about her choice to extract intelligence instead of clinging to life, about understanding that some decisions had no good options, only less bad options. Rachel died to give us Webb's network intelligence, John said. We've used that intelligence to destroy 2 facilities, kill 50 of his personnel, cripple his hunter coordination, rescue 27 hostages, but we've lost 14 fighters, watched 20 civilians executed, agreed to a ceasefire that gives Webb time to prepare for Phase 2. And we have 3.5 months to figure out how to stop him, Marcus said. 3.5 months. To train, plan, recruit, prepare. Webb thinks he's won, thinks the ceasefire gives him the advantage. We use that assumption against him. How? John asked. Jennifer smiled grimly. We were hunters. We know how Webb thinks, how he plans, how he conditions people. We use that knowledge. We prepare for Phase 2 not by attacking his facilities, but by making sure when it begins, his modified infection doesn't work the way he expects. Morrison's been studying hunter reversal protocols, Marcus added, learning how to break Webb's conditioning. If we can reverse hunters, maybe we can prevent transformation in the first place. Inoculate people against the modified infection, make Webb's Phase 2 fail before it begins. It was ambitious, maybe impossible, but it was a plan, a way forward, a reason to believe the ceasefire wasn't surrender. 3.5 months, John said. We've survived worse odds. But he wasn't sure he believed it. 20 bodies being prepared for burial. 4 resistance fighters who'd died at Peterson. 20 hostages executed because John chose to save 27 instead of 47. The brutal math of command. The weight that never got lighter. Rachel had carried that weight when she chose intelligence over survival. Now John carried it too. The war had paused. Phase 2 was coming, and nobody knew if 3.5 months would be enough to prepare for what Webb had planned.